and what's going on. Let's talk about this great initiative. Let me welcome our Honorable President, who is the chief guest of today's seminar, rather than it's a webinar, Mr. Nisar Telangara, a person who is always thinking how to raise the bar of academic excellence, educational excellence, how to raise the bar of providing the service to keep the parents at ease and students at ease. So let's welcome our Honorable President, Mr. Nisar Telangara. We have with us the another dynamic educationist, Commandant Saiju Arvind. Initially an IITian, joined the Naval Services naval officer, shifted to DRDO, scientist, missile scientist, and then shifted towards the education, neuroscience, neuroplasticity, and whatnot. So dear parents, please put your hands together virtually to welcome Commandant Saiju Arvind. We have with us Mr. Vijimon, the school director and principal of Sharjah Indian School, our boys branch, Jueza. We have with us Mrs. Shifna Nasruddin, the vice principal of Sharjah Indian School Girls Wing, Mr. Raju, rather than Dr. Raju, the vice principal of Boys Wing, Mrs. Tajun Nisa, HM from Boys Wing, Girls Wing, supervisors, teachers, and the most respected parents. Welcome to one and all. And myself, you are aware of Dr. Romad Mahajan, the school director and principal of Sharjah Indian School. Let us start today's session with the thought process that how, Honorable President, how it has come to your mind that we have to unturn some stones which seems to be somewhat hurdles in the path of success of the educational excellence. What was your thought process to keep the parents at ease, students confident, and to reach to the last child of the schools? So what's that in your mind, and with what mindset, with what thought process, with what ethics and vision and mission you approached and listened to us and allowed us and taken a dashing step to start transforming the education by evolving EduBrisk and enhancing the SIS learning management system. Honorable Mr. Nisar Telangara.
Mr. Mahajan, thank you very much. Mr. Saiju, Mr. Iepen and other dignitaries, another teaching community, parents community, good morning, everyone. Always I was thinking about the current education system, what's happening all over the world, and particularly in India. Sometimes what we understand, we should not prepare our kids, our children, for the world of yesterday. We should prepare our kids for the world of tomorrow. So then what we need to do? That's exactly idea came from you all. We discussed many times. That's the reason we are introducing the new concept of EduBrisk. The team EduBrisk, I'm very confident that they will work very hard with the teaching community and parent community to achieve our common goal, which is prepare our students for tomorrow, a leaders of 2030. UAE has a vision on education, and our great nation India has a vision of education by 2030. We have to adopt both both mechanism, and give the kids to right format. Once upon a time, the teachers being the center of knowledge. Now it's more into, it's changing drastically. The World Economic Forum says by 2027, by 44% of current scenario, whether it's education or the job profile or any field, it's going to change drastically. So it's 2027 means tomorrow. So we are a bit late, but we need to speed up now. That's the reason we bought EduBrisk on the platform. I don't want to give a big speech on it, but I'm here standing as a listener. And thank you once again for the teaching community and EduBrisk arranging this wonderful program. We have more than 4,000 people, whether in the Zoom or in the YouTube. So let's have a very fruitful 1.5 hour session. And our parents should understand that I have received many calls. What is the benefit of this program? So, Mr. Saiju, that's your task now. You need to explain very well to the teaching parents community and teaching community the benefit of overall program. So, once again, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mahajan. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Telangana. We have very rightly said, the history is the past. The future is again a mystery. We are living in present and we are creating the leaders of tomorrow. Future fit students, futuristic schooling, and yes, those futuristic aspect. Now, let me initially introduce the EduBrisk. What is that and what actually we are doing it and what are the basic components, and then we'll come to Commandant Sanju. Basically, it is starting with first component, that is prepare. Prepare the teachers to scaffold the students. Prepare the students to be ready to learn the new things, ready to apply the new things, ready to adopt the new things, and ready to be knowledgeable. Prepare the parents to be a knowledgeable parents, to see that in what way the parent can help the students. The parent can help their kids to excel the future, to be futuristic. Prepare the education, edu leaders for what? To ensure that the universal design thinking based learning is happening. All the students are on same page. They are confident. And yes, they are doing something which will make them futuristic. Second aspect is plan. Planning for teachers to understand that where the students are and where they wanted to reach and what will be that roadmap. Planning for students. Before the chapter is starting, they are going through a diagnostic test which is there on the learning platform. And with that diagnostic test, they are understanding what are the gaps they are having, what are the plus points they are having, and what they wanted to learn. And what is that aspect which will help them learning about how to learn. Planning for, and then the next aspect is learn. Learn the new global trends. Learn the space and learn with the space and speed. Learn with thinking about how to think. Learn that universal design learning aspect which is fit for each and every child. And that learning will be with the smiling. That learning will be without any stress. That learning is not only to write the examination, but to prepare themselves for life. So learning for life. Next is the test. The test, after completing the task, after completing the chapter, they are writing the reinforcement test. They understood that whatever they have learned, whether they are able to apply that thing in unknown situation or not. That reinforcement test ensure to the teachers also whether they are teaching which they have done during the class is, up to what extent it is effective, what they have to repeat, what they have to taken care of. And the last is celebrate. Celebrate whatever they have achieved. Celebrate if in some areas they are failed, because celebration of failure gives the next stage for coming up with the different aspect. So this is the overall impact of the EduBriks platform. Now the commandant Seju, navigator to missile man, from missile man to mission of education. Commandant Seju, according to you, what is this EduBriks? How it is helpful for the parents, for the students, for the schooling, for the teachers, for the edu leaders, and how they are making the students lifelong, independent, interrogative learners and preparing them for all sort of futuristic competitive examination without taking any stress, and how the parents are empowered with your platform rather than with our learning management system to be a knowledgeable parent, moving away from parental policing or parental bossing. Commandant Saiju, a neurologist, a scientist, a navigator, educator, more than that, a responsible father.
Thank
Commandant
you.
Saiju.
Thank you, Dr. Mahajan, and my sincere gratitude to the Honorable President, the school directors, Mahajan sir and Bijmon sir, and the senior leadership team, Dr. Rajiv, Shifna, Dr. Miss Shifna, Miss Tajunisa, Miss Deepthi ma'am, all the teachers who are present and all the parents. A very wonderful good morning to all. Thank you for this overwhelming response of some 5,000 registrations have crossed now, and a lot of people are watching this.
5,800, sir, now.
Yeah, 5,800. That's a very big number. And a lot of parents are attending this live. We would like to see there are a lot to think to talk about parenting and how 21st century parenting is all about knowledge parenting. Uh, the knowledge, see, we used to, our children inherit wealth automatically. Whatever wealth we have by law of the land, they inherit the wealth. But inheriting knowledge is not automatic. Inheriting knowledge has to be based on a plan and based on a schedule, and we have to work on it. So this is an opportunity for all of us to think what ideal parenting could be, and how can we use and not get used by the technology around, but how can we use it in moderation, the ideal way, so that our children get the best. So, my journey it is very relevant to talk about my journey. My journey to education did not come as from as an educationist. It came through the way of a parent. My children, both the children had missed out early on in their life in education, and which caused a very big barrier for them. It's called burden of non-comprehension. So this word burden of non-comprehension is talked about by CBSE. Professor Yashpal, you should talk about it, and SPIA talks about it. Burden. The whole idea is how can we reduce the burden of comprehension, or I would say reduce the burden of non-comprehension, because the burden that comes with non-comprehension is much more than the burden of books and all. It's an emotional drain. It happens, starts with the friction, some sort of friction you experience with learning, to burnout, and then to shut down, and hatred or a dislike for a subject. So how do we do this? So the word which SPIA and the UAE inspection framework, your UAE Ministry of Education use is belonging. How well a child is belonging in the classroom. It's also called inclusion, but the more natural word to use is belong. You go to a class, whether is your child belonging in a math class, belonging in an English class, belonging in a history class? Why is it this belonging not there? So there are many reasons which are ascertained over the last many years of research, but in essence, the burden of non-comprehension starts with learning gaps, large learning gaps, which are accrued over a period of years, period of time. It can start from grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. By the time he's in grade 6 or grade 7, there's a huge learning gap. So as Dr. Mahajan was speaking, I was also sharing some of the screens here. So just to show you an example, as parents, please see this example. Here is a chapter called Light and Reflection, which comes in 10th. But if you see, this topic has started somewhere in 6. These are the topics. See, how do we see things? Light of reflection, light of reflection of light. Light travels through straight line. Playing with spherical mirrors. Example of convex and concave lens. All these topics are taught in grade 6, 7, 8. So what happens if our child, due to some reason, missed out? He may be having a stomach, or she may be having a health issue at that time and couldn't attend it, or maybe had some issues. So the learning gap, the success of education is, we as teachers, our success is able to pinpoint, like it's in medicine, it's called personalized medicine. Some doctors who are attending this, you might have heard this concept of personalized medicine which comes now, that you do a gene test, genomics test, and you can pinpoint and say what mutation caused it, and what this medicine, will it work or will it not work. So that idea is the one which is shared here. That is, but there is also one more thing. To study a chapter, sometimes it is not only required to know the basics of that subject, but there are cross-curricular supports. You see here, to study this chapter in physics, you need conversion of unit, measurement, ratios, proportions, solving of linear equation. All these are nothing to do with physics per se. It is math. Similarly, to study a topic in history, you may require a good vocabulary in English, hierarchy or autocracy, or the words like peasants and words like oligarchy and polyarchy. How do so the facility to test, that is the diagnostic test that Dr. Mahajan mentioned, the facility to test at their own convenience, at anywhere, at home, with the parent, as we call this parent, this program is called Parent as Life Mentor, PALM. Parent as life, that means you are a co-traveler with your child, as or a co-learner. That facility is there now, where you can sit at home. Hey, let us take a diagnostic test together. I will also test myself and see where are the gap. When you do that testing, by that simple act of 5 minutes test, what you are giving is a data to the teacher that yes, my child is very good, strong in these area. These are the two areas where he might or she might require a little bit of support, and teacher has already received it. So this is a huge ecosystem where the child's belonging, how well is or she is belonging in the classroom, the inclusion part. So we have used a lot of neuroscience elements, use of a lot of data science elements, all through teachers only, not directly to the student, all through their teachers. So whatever a child does is actually through the teacher is able to track and monitor. And even as you parent, you can track and monitor, but not to find fault or make tell them you made a mistake. These tests are, these analysis are not a part of the marks given in the school. It is the freedom for the child to test and identify. It's also known as illusion of competence. In neuroscience, there is a terminology called illusion of competence. That means even after studying a topic, there is a chance that we might think that we may know, but in reality we may not know the details of it. So the system checks the illusion of competence and reports it to the teacher, and the teacher completes the chain by bridging the gap. So I think I will, as Dr. Mahajan has a lot of ideas in this to discuss, I will not take too much time. I will come back to it when the appropriate time. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks, Commander Sanju. We would like to know from your side some more inputs. See, we know that thing we have given all the login IDs and password to the parents. They are logging in.
Yes.
They are understanding. And those who are not able to log in, I think from tomorrow onwards, they will be behind us and then we'll do that thing. They are logging in. They are finding out how good their children are doing. Only one point is there at this moment I wanted to highlight, that when they are going through the diagnostic test with this LMS, they enjoy their failure also. If they could not answer any particular question, so on that they smile on themselves because the hints are ready for them. Why you went wrong. And if they take that hint, they will think at a next level. Again, if they could not, further next level. And then finally, if they succeed, they are winner. If they could not, then whatever be the probable reasons for that. So up to a large extent, it fills the learning gap. It bridges the learning gap. Now, we at a SIS, we are not thinking only about the learning gap. We are following the aspect of SPIA, Sharjah Private Education Authority, as well as the dream of His Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan, providing the ownership of learning on the shoulders of a learner. We are making them the owner of their own learning. So for that, not only the learning gap, but there are many gaps has to be filled, like understanding gap, what they understand and what they able to apply in the unknown situation. Another one is a thinking gap, what they think is correct, whether, because that gap nobody thinks about that. And our president, our secretary, our treasurer, they are aligned with that. Yes, make them a good thinker. Rather than, it is my personal belief and philosophy, change the classroom into a thinking classroom. So in what way that is helpful for that? Application gap. They learn, they are knowledgeable, but they are not able to apply that thing in unknown situation. When the unknown situations come, they keep mum. See, mugging up and omitting in the examination is fine. Getting 95, 99% mark, 100%. There are students got 100 out of 100 in all subjects. So, okay. And the retention gap, how much they retain within themselves. So, with filling this gap, what is the role of a parent? How students can scaffold themselves, self scaffolding and filling that gap, and how the teachers are well equipped with this LMS to fill up that gap. Come on,
A
Dr.
very nice point, sir. And I would like to start this with saying that gone are the times where if you just know what is, even CBSE has started something called competency-based questions. 50% of the questions are not directly from the textbook for every exam. They started it with grade 9 and 10, but now it has come down to
Six,
lower
six.
classes.
Started with
Lower
six.
started with 6, which means, so there was, typically for the pedagogists and some parents who are all into teaching and some parents who are interested in this, there is something called a Bloom's taxonomy. A taxonomy, basically, your a child is understanding, remembering basic knowledge, then understanding, then application, higher order thinking, creation, evaluation. So this is how the pyramidal structure of knowledge is structured. But there is another model which became very popular in learning called Dr. William Daggett's model. Dr. William Daggett's model says that actually it is not sufficient that you are able to apply in known situations. You should be able to apply it in unknown situation, in other realm. So what actually it comes to is called lateral and integrated learning. Say, for example, I'm just giving a small example, okay? Let's say your child is studying for medicine, pathology. But actually, the physics they studied in 11th and 12th, properties of fluid and Bernoulli's equation, is important. He's studying medicine, but the concept of physics from Bernoulli's theorem is what is applied in pathology, blood flow in the body. So there should be provision for all kinds of learners. So I'm going to share the screen with you. I'm just showing you an example. Okay. See, as let's say this, so this is the knowing taxonomy which we mentioned. Yeah, you can see here. Yeah. So remembering, understanding, application, analyzing, evaluating, creating. So many a time in the past when we were students, most of the exams used to be in this area, remembering and understanding. Bottommost. Recognize and recalling facts in the exam, understanding what the facts mean. But now, with the CBSE increased awareness of employability and life readiness of children, they came to real life application, ability to analyze, breaking down information into component parts, and even open ended. Some of the answers don't have one answer; they have many answers. Evaluation, creation. So these are the part of it. Now, as Dr. Mahajan was saying, it's so important for a teacher who is teaching this to one area is let's say a student who is studying life process in biology. He for that understanding life process, there are a lot of topics which are required from the past, that is respiration, transportation, nutrition, all these are taught. Or I'll take a small example of a smaller grade also after this, but I am using this as an example. So but so one point is that not only take a diagnostic test, but then come and understand, bridge the gap. So this is the bridging of gap material in the prepare phase. But then, as Dr. Mahajan was saying, a teacher not only has to teach it in what the way which is given in the textbook, but teacher might have to give. Some children may be extremely visual. It's called VARK, visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetic. Some children may understand the same concept by watching a video of the same live process video. Just so typically there are 3 minutes, 2 minutes videos by which they can understand a concept, a complex concept, and they can even visualize it. But there are some children who wouldn't want to, they would like to do and discover. They would like to go to the lab and then do an activity, or bring a small tool to the classroom. So a temporary amount of stomata, this is a concept. Even a leaf, bringing 2 3 dried leaf to the classroom, or would be sufficient for the child to understand. So this is called VARK, visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetic. All these type of contents are required for a teacher to cater to different requirements of students. So that is already there. And so this is like, in the analogy is, this is like a supermarket, but the teacher knows somebody would like to take broccoli, somebody would like to take fish, someone may like it's important to take some supplements. So the supplements are decided by the teacher and the student together, and of course the inclusion department of the schools help in identifying in what form the broccoli has to be given, in soup form or in some sabji form. That is the idea. But then there are students who are very high achievers, who want to step up and learn about the application of this life process in genomics. They may want to go to the National University Singapore to study genomics or biotechnology. So for them, there are cross curricular connections in physics, in computer science, in sports, in art. Somebody may have a lot of artistic course. They may be in sports and they want to get into sports medicine or physiotherapy. So there are ways in which they can do lateral thinking or integrated learning, no more. So someone is preparing for NEET, and they are in, the child is in grade 10th, but they want to prepare for NEET foundation. Then here it is, think higher order questions, or step up takes them to the higher grade. That means while in 10th I can actually visit grade 11th or 12th topic which are connected to that particular chapter. That means as a higher 90%. So then now the school has a feature. It's an analytics dashboard where each teacher can actually identify, pinpoint, the students who are high achievers in a particular class, I'll just show you here. This is the last. Just give me 2 more minutes on this. I'll yeah. Uh, yeah. So, a particular high achiever in a class, they can go to the data and then understand that high achiever, which all subjects his performance is high. Last how many years he has been performing consistently? In which subject? Is it only in math or is it in English and science? And then this can be the whole process can be done by the teacher, and then they can prescribe this particular high order thinking, or step up or step down, or video lateral thinking. So it's an oceanic the best time for the learners now. But the whole thing is, using it should be in moderation and as per the guidance of teachers. Thank you. Over to you,
Mr.
sir.
Sajju, 1 minute. I have a question here. Can you
Yeah.
just go back to that screen and explain the parents how to what is their benefit out of this program?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So how to register and what are the information they'll get from the student?
Very good. So if you have a student who's studying in SIS girls or SIS boys, you are eligible for a parent account. And if you have not got your parent account, please contact the class teacher. The class teacher will be able to give. If you are a parent who has a child in boys school as well as in girls school, you are eligible for a parent account through which you can see the girl child's progress as well as the boy child's progress. So that is one part of it. Second part of it, all the content and material which your child is having access is accessible to you. All the tests and all the study materials and the usage time what your child has spent is accessible to you. So I as a service provider and a knowledge partner don't have access to your accounts, but I'll show you how it works. So you can see here on the left side, you have a test, an assignment, and a usage report. So we call it the study room. You can go to the study room. So whatever material a child has to study. Suppose your child is in fourth grade, or then you will have these materials: science, math, a little bit of Hindi and social science, and then the English material for that grade. I mean, not the textbook, but the skill based materials. Okay, that is grammar, English grammar, and then the English grammar. These sort of materials will be available. Literary devices, language, LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, writing, literary devices. All these material. So as your child has access to the relevant grades content, 6 or 5 or 7, then has the benchmark tests content, that is the national agenda parameter, that is you not only just what is being taught in the classroom, what is given in the CBSE textbook, but also related materials, competency based questions, multiple combination of of subjects based questions, all are available here. Then when your child the child, when they have this material that comes with all the tests, as just mentioned, the diagnostic test which is to be done before the chapter. So ideally, parents, please note that, let's say next week the chapter in social science is locating places on earth. The teacher would request the children, they can take the diagnostic test 1 week in advance or even 10 days in advance. And then the teacher will get to know what are the areas which students foundation is there or lacking. Even you as a parent can know that through the test report. So you take a test, you can drop down your child's name. I don't have it. And then you can see the test result. And when the test results time, you can see test results like this. And test analyzer you can take and see which question is the one which went wrong. And when you could identify the question which has gone wrong, the solution of that system will automatically populate. And not only that, let's say this question is of grade 8. I'm studying in grade 8, but this question is on the topics are in grade 6. By clicking on learn the concept, it will automatically take them to whichever grade this topic started. I hope everybody understood what I meant. That is, your child may be in sixth, but the grade six child made a mistake in a concept, but is related to not even that subject. It may be related to English or math of grade 4. By clicking on learn the concept, the system will take them to grade 4 CBSE content or grade 5 CBSE math content. So now knowledge is like a neural network. Knowledge is integrated. The more integrated it becomes firm and easily retrievable, easily graspable, retainable, integratable, and personalizable. These are not English words, but I'm using it in a particular context just to make sense of it. So yeah, so now as a parent, you have access to all this. Say for example, please pay attention to this. You are a grade 7 child's parent. There is a topic called motion, where car acceleration, velocity, distance, time. If that chapter is being taught, ideal thing you can do is to take your child for a drive, sitting in the front, and ask him to look at the odometer. That is also written. Go for a drive with your child and ask him to look at the odometer, how the speed changes, how the distance is, how you are driving at 60 kilometer per hour for 1 hour and you actually cover 60 kilometer. So these are like real life connect. So you as a, or let's say a teacher is teaching on natural indicators of acid and base. That week, the thing you should buy is a red cabbage from Lulu Mall, because red cabbage is a natural indicator. You can use the red cabbage and dip it in a solution, and you will, by the color change, you can know whether it's acid or base, acidic or base. All such information, that means parent as a life mentor information is also available in that. But now, as president mentioned, I want one important warning. Use it, children can use it for, say, a grade up to grade 7 8. They should use it 15 to 20 minutes in a day. And if your child is in 9th 10th, you can use for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And how to use it? Keep it in the main room, in the dining room, where the screen is facing the hall. Not give them a computer in the bedroom, and the child is sitting in one corner, and no, that's not what is recommended by United Nations. So I am not saying, this is not Commander Saiju's words, these are United Nations words, so I'm repeating it. Use it in a common room facing this thing, not because we have any doubt of our children, just to avoid any tendency of straying aside, and it's bring in some mental discipline. So these are the way, and the ideal way to use for parents is ask the child, is there a diagnostic test we can take together for a chapter which is coming up for the next week. Second thing is, do not help the child or do not judge the child for the mark which he is getting, because the mark has no meaning. What is meaningful is the courage the child is showing in taking the diagnostic test and repeating the test second time or third time till the level is increasing from 3 out of 10, make it 5 out of 10. And I can tell you, in both SIS boys and girls, we observed this year children who are taking diagnostic test 3 times. Such children requires a medal. Not because their mark, because their effort. They are taking the pain to take a diagnostic test and see where is the gap, learning the concept and taking it second time. We saw a few children who moved their score from 3 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. So these are the things. Mark is not to be encouraged, the effort is to be encouraged.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commandant Seju, before I call Mr. Vijimon Ayappan, one more important question. Like we are making, and that is the SPIA policy and UAE framework policy, we are making the asset and CAT 4 exams compulsory, and the amount has to be paid by the parents. But at the same time, we are trying our level best to train the students up to a large extent that they will be successful for that asset test as well as the cat 4 test, PISA, teams, pulse, all those things. And
Yes,
we are
sir.
the leaders. Like
Yes.
we got outstanding in PISA, we got very good in asset and cat 4 and all. So now
Yes.
my question is, parents will be paying, they are doing it. How your LMS, that alligator button, is helping the students to be more confident and competent for asset test, for the cat 4 test?
Yes.
Please.
Very beautiful question. Parents, may I request you to pay attention to me for 2 3 minutes? This is very important topic. We know children like my son. He may not have performed very good in class, but you put him outside, ask him general questions. He was brilliant. My daughter also. So there are children who are lateral thinkers. They may not be sitting and studying and cramming up what is being taught in the class and getting 99 out of 100. They may be getting only 85 out of 100. But you put them in a general awareness test or application level question in a wider scenario, they may be doing brilliantly, and vice versa is also true. Your child may be getting 99% or 98%, 95% in classroom. Your child may have the ability to gobble up everything what the teacher is teaching and put it out on the paper and get 95, but you test them with the international benchmark, spar it, and then in benchmark test the performance may be low. So countries like UAE, Finland, Singapore, they don't trust a child's performance just based on internal performance of in the class. Therefore, it is very, very important for as a parent to compare your child's performance with international benchmarking tests, where your child is taking that same test as the child who is sitting in Finland or Singapore or Shanghai or in Estonia or Australia is doing. This is the most. So, parents, please understand. Sharjah Indian schools are one of the few schools in the world, and top schools in UAE. One of the top performing schools in UAE for asset and cat 4 and tests, benchmark tests. Now how the data will be used is, you see the my sheet. As a teacher, I have the full data on this scale. On the y-axis, can you see the asset score? This is the asset mathematics. And on the x-axis, it is the internal mark. See, you can see how many children have come very close in their performance, equal performance in asset as well as internal. Only, and there are children who are performing very high in internal but not so well in the. So this is a data which is, yeah, here you can see a lot of children performing very, very close to their ability. Now our schools, in each classroom the teacher compares the child's internal performance with the benchmark tests and see whether they are coming in the central line where the internal performance and the external performance are matching. And if it is not matching, then the intervention plan is made based on that. So our children are in a fortunate age where we are not just studying what the textbook is writing. That's not what even CBSE wants. CBSE wants children to do competency based learning. So benchmark test and alligator is a package which, as Marjan sir mentioned, is a package where I'll just share it with you. Yes, here. where your child, yes, here they say your child is in grade 5. In grade 5 the child gets these material, number sense and arithmetic. These are not exactly like in textbook, but this test, these topics will give how well is the child understanding in a grade 5 child's understanding in number sense, fractions, arithmetic operations, measurements and data, advanced problem solving, and then there is a mock test for child to practice these areas. So not the school is not only giving materials which are CBSE aligned, but it's also giving materials with CBSE and international benchmark test aligned for your later on if your child is taking a SAT or any international test. That this knowledge is going to help them tremendously. I hope I covered, Dr. Mahajan, most of the
Yeah.
point. Otherwise, you could, may I request Vijibon sir or you to add to
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. So, Vijibon sir, love Mr. Vijibon Ayappan, you are a pedagogical leader. What you can see from the pedagogy leader's eye, how useful this EduBrisk is for the teachers, for the parents, for the students. And at the same time, as Commandant Saiji told, it is PALM, the parent as lifelong mentor. As a pedagogical leader, how you see that thing, this platform is giving the opportunity for a teacher as lifelong scaffolder. Mr. Bijimon, please.
Fine, thank you. When we seriously look into the platform which we are EduBrisk is providing, there are certain things we can make our parents comprehend that seriously is profiling the student. If you seriously look at the profile of a student, that is a portfolio of the student, how is it being designed by our education system? Especially if you check our schools, how do we promote, how do we design the life of a child through different systems? They call it as actually, I have seen EduBrisk, they term it as an ecosystem where we would have all the necessary inputs for a child to profile themselves. And profiling is, it is not only in one single line profiling. It is about social profiling. It is about their emotional profiling. It is about their personal profiling and academic profiling. How is it linked? That actually it is a serious area where EduBrisk will support. If a child is one of the places, it is diagnostic test which we are saying about, that pedagogical leader or a supporter who supports the child, if you look at that aspect, you would identify the child who is not performing or struggling to perform. Definitely there will be an emotional setback and a trauma going through within that child. That how do we address through this platform is that child can take a diagnostic test at his own pace and his own interest and his own time and his personal time when he is ready to learn. And that is given as a flexible opportunity there in this platform where parents can support. And we call in as pedagogical leaders, we call ourselves assessments. Assessment, how does it go home, and how well our parents can be there as partner in assessing the child, where we normally used to have the teachers assess or the school gives a report card and it goes home. It is the parent who can very well get into this platform and be with the child and check the assessments done the way it is required. Like we call it in our education system, we do it with the assessment for learning, as learning, and off learning. When we talk about assessment of learning, the best place would be the school, because we will have a term and examination. But assessment for learning, it happens at home, and where the child would take care of assessment, and the parent can also be a part of assessor, and where they would be able to monitor this assessment for learning, where immediate feedback is given for the child to understand which area that child needs to focus. And assessment of learning is actually, it is portfolio designed by the child, and how many assessment I have taken or which all areas I had issues, and what is my opinion of it. Is like a peer assessment, parent assessment, or teacher assessment. Here with this platform, how does it help is the parents can have the direct feedback for the child. In this area you lost marks, or in this area you need to focus on, or these are the areas where we would be able to get support from. Or else if you take asset or CAT4 or in our normal assessment, all these international assessments as well as our internal assessments along with CBSE, they would be able to profile the child's career actually. And in a career I mean is the growth as a child, as a student, starting from grade 3 onwards, or even grade 1 or 2, 1 and 2 we don't have, but then also the parents can understand how well a child can be tuned to a profile that would fulfill the requirements in future, and where this child will have all the competencies. When we talk about this competency component, it doesn't end with answering a question. It goes with the attitude and skills plus the knowledge required. So that combination, how do we identify, or how a parent can reach out to the child and be an active partner in profiling that child. And that is really an area where our parents should be there with actually, because you have all the rights to be there and you have a platform for designing your child's future. That designing, you can design it actually. You can design it as a normal building, or you can design it as a palace with all the possibilities of that child. How are you going to do it with this platform is it has different options given there, and you need to go into the each steps, and you get into it, and you would be able to profile the child academically and personally, and even that emotional support which were required, you would be able to provide it. That is the area I feel as a teacher, as a pedagogical leader, we would be able to reach out to the parents through this platform, and parents can easily locate it and locate the growth.
Yeah. Mr. Bijimon, before we invite some questions from the parents, one more aspect, like how this EduBrisk LMS helping to prioritize the journey of learning instead of prioritizing the destination. You talk about assessment of learning, assessment for learning. This journey of learning deals with assessment as learning. So as a head of the institution, how you see that this platform is helping us to prioritize the journey of learning and taking the assessment as learning as the next, as a step up without thinking about the destination.
Actually, when we talk about as learning is most of the time, it is self-driven, independent learners when we create or groom actually, because child is profiling himself and child is getting into his learning and his learning style. As our Saiju Arvind was talking about, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and reading that work. Now, latest researchers saying that there are divergent learners, there are convergent learners, there are assimilators, and there are accommodators. If you take a call cycle, we would identify these 4 different styles of learners now, because the child who is a divergent thinker, how is he going to get benefited out of this platform is he would be able to take all the activities given in that platform for different assessment, and he would be able to find out his track, his own actually, when as learning is concerned. Off learning and for learning, we can have the support and the teachers and all the, even in the parents like. But as an independent learner, as learning, most of the time it is portfolio designed by the child himself about his own practices actually. He has to design it, he has to progress from one area to another, assessing himself or herself. And there is something called this child has to involve in, immerse in actually the learning process. How well we can invite them into the thing is, if I sit there in one classroom and you are sitting next to me, and you learn a concept very fast and I am struggling, And that period, teacher did not give me the enough chance to clear that doubt there. And what would I do is I would remain there with that doubt inside my head. And if a week goes like that, what would normally happen is our teacher will brand me like I'm a slow learner. There that gaps widen actually. And it goes for a month. At the first test, you will definitely put me in remedial platform and you will tell I'm a low profile the student. Like here, EduBrisk platform, how well this child can use. I am sitting there, I did not understand the concept today. What would I do is I would go back and I would get into that diagnostic test area and I would prepare myself for the topic and I would be able to identify which area. In grade 3, I'm sitting in grade 5, but my level of that concept is of grade 3. I would go back to grade 3 portion and I would identify the assessment and strategies given there in EduBrisk platform. I would develop my skill from there. There is very good opportunity for our parents to support that platform and a child can easily profile himself. And next day, if you brand me as a slow learner for about a month's time, the same 1 month time is enough for that child to cover up the basic requirement of grade 3 and grade 4 of where I lost as a learner, and I would reach to grade 5 level within a month. And the progress will be really visible.
Very
That is
good.
what actually that assessment as learning would help, or else the platform would help the child to, focus on his own independent learning, styles.
Sir, there's a question
Nicely
in
elaborated.
the there's
Yeah,
a question in
question.
the group whether there's any payment. Parents have asked, is there any payment for this?
Yeah, now this EduBriks platform is the initiative of the Indian student Sharjah without costing a single pie from the parents. All investment, it's a huge investment in this field. It has been taken care of by Indian student Sharjah. It is taken care of by the association. We are not charging a single fees for EduBriks from your end. Any more question if it is there? Before that,
Annie ma'am, can you
Yeah,
please see the
yes,
question?
yeah.
parental questions.
One question is about login issues, sir. How it can be resolved?
Yeah, if any login issue is there, we have already given the login IDs and password. We have taken one session also before in the beginning. But still, if you have any login issue, consult your class teachers and they will discuss with our IT engineers and that will be resolved that day itself without any time lag. That
Yes.
we will take care of that day.
One more question I would like to take is this. It would be one parent has commented. It would be better if there is an Android or Apple application.
I would like to answer that, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, my request is don't give phone to children to anything. Limit it to 20 minutes to 30 minutes use in a bigger screen and no app and all. It is only a website just and you can use the website in phone or but then limit it to a larger screen 20 minutes to 30 minutes and that too for taking tests and seeing the results and or watching a 3 minute videos have been made to 3 minutes. The idea is you watch 2 to 3 wherever concept, wherever block, wherever there is a bottleneck in understanding, just watch that. And so this is therefore we have not made any app and there is no sales of EduBrisk to any student anywhere in the world. We only give it to teacher to school and only through teachers. Teachers are the prime drivers in the drivers in this and these are the important points. So therefore your point is taken. So there is an Android app and all which is for the teachers to notify if somebody is having a problem. Somebody is that is there for teachers, but for students and learners we would like to not to offer anything like that.
Any more question is there from the parent side?
Can we check the tests the child has already performed? Because it happens every time that the tests are taken.
Commandant Seju.
Okay, can we check that? Yes. You can. You can just go to child's history, child's test usage history, and then all the history will come. Even the number of times a child took, number progress that he made, all those history will be there for parents.
Next question, if there.
Not is diagnostic test available even after the chapter ended?
Yes, it is
Okay.
Yes.
available, but it is of no much use.
Yeah.
Because see, let's say I am studying a chapter in grade 5, fractions. But the concept required for that is LCM, which is taught in grade 4 or 5. Okay, addition of fractions. You require LCM, right? Every parent can relate to it. It's just a small class. So therefore, diagnostic test should be taken before the chapter begins. Assessment test and reinforcement can be taken during the class or every end of every class or end of a chapter. But diagnostic test please take before the chapter begins. Then there is a concept called, please pay attention to this word. Normal schools will do something called remedial teaching, but Sharjah Indian school will do something called pre-teaching. There's a difference between remedial teaching and pre-teaching. Remedial teaching is after the damage is done, 7 days or 8 days, class is over, you take a bunch of students and say, I'm going to do remedial teaching. The other one is a prognosis. Diagnostic test is done and say, you will have a problem understanding this concept because this LCM concept is lacking. So me as a teacher, let me start with LCM. So the teacher will start the chapter called where bridging of learning gap, LCM, is taught. So therefore, the more diagnostic tests our children take, the easier would be for the teacher to identify the statistically understand which are the topics which requires pre-teaching. So thank you for that wonderful question by a
Sir,
parent.
not only we are doing remedial and pre-teaching and adoption and all, we are doing enrichment classes also to challenge the gifted and talented student. That is the unique feature of Sharjah Indian School, doing the enrichment classes also. Now there are some questions directly came to my WhatsApp, and yeah, so that is related to many times parents are overpraising the students for anything and everything, overpraising the student. According to the neuroscience, whether this overpraising is good or bad, that is one thing. Second thing is, now there are three students mentioned that thing, sometimes we feel boredom while learning. So being the neuroscientist, what do you think, this boredom is good or not?
Oh, beautiful question, sir. So they say that boredom is the stepping stone for
Stepping stone.
creativity.
Yes, yes, yes.
That means if your child has not experienced boredom in his life, beware. His creativity can be seriously affected because that is the space where you try to be happy with self, understand the world, understand that this world is not a situation where it is to be continuously provided to you. Entertainment and entitlement not required. Boredom is a time to reflect and learn. So many neuroscience studies are there where it says that children who are given situations where they don't have things to, they don't have devices, like for example, when we make a mistake, oh, our child is not having anything, so let him have a device to engage himself, not required. Boredom is actually good for even engaging in reading. So there has to be, so if you divide the time, a child spends only 14% time in school in his lifetime. 33% of the time is used for sleeping. Around 25% of the time is used for eating and watching TV and playing and all. So 30 plus 25, 55, and another 14%, 65, 70, 75. 25% of the time is actually child is free. You can calculate it and see. If parents have a doubt, I can show the calculation right now, but it will lose the time. That's why. But actually, 25% of the child life is actually free after everything is done, playing and watching TV, and then 25% is free. That time is the time for studying, learning, and even those who are using EduBrisk platform, please, parents, the child should have a book and a pen in hand. A book and a pen should be in hand, even when they are looking at the screen, and they should write in the book. They should, even diagnostic test they are taking, a calculation should be done in the book. So it should be that. So therefore, again coming back to this question, boredom is something to be, everybody should know. All children, by the time they are 11 to 12 years time, they should know that it's a creative space of being happy with self, content with oneself, thinking about thinking, metacognition, thinking about thinking. How do I think?
Yeah.
Is there a
Meta
way I can
skills.
think better? Is there a way I can refine my learning process? Is there a way I can refine my reading, etc., etc.? Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And overpraising.
Oh, overpricing. So actually, children, it's a dopamine addiction. Dopamine like sugar, no, sugar addiction.
Yeah.
If somebody is habituated to putting lot of sugar in their coffee, then the coffee will taste only if the sugar is there. But somebody who is not used to sugar, like me, I don't like. If sugar is there, I can't drink. My children are just 26 and 30 years old. Both of them, both my kids are, elder son is 26, 30-year old, and my daughter is 26 years old. Both of them, they not tolerate sugar. Just because it is a habit. Just because they, in their house, the coffee was taken without sugar. Now sugar is they love that without sugar, coffee without sugar. So similarly, overpricing is a dopamine addiction. Once a child gets that sugar intake, then they don't get it, they will rebel. So never praise, don't try to praise the result. I won't say never, you can
Yeah.
praise the result once in a while, but you can praise the effort all the time. Be liberal in praising effort.
But
That is,
actually,
somebody
science,
studied mathematics, studied, got 50 only, and the next examination also got 51 out of 100 only, but put in effort. He said, you're putting the right effort. Continue putting effort, the result will come. Yes, sir.
that
Vijimon sir
is
would
Yeah,
like to
very
add.
good.
Yes,
that
yes.
is actually that is the area where we need to have that clarity. Parents should know it is praise is not the thing actually. Encouragement is the word actually. The action done by the student should be encouraged. That encouragement and praise are two different terms actually. You need to encourage the child's effort taken and the hard work put in, and the process should be always encouraged. And for that, that process encouragement should go like a regular practice where child will not starve for attention and encouragement. Actually, there is a risk involved in it. Example, if you don't give the child a required encouragement, whenever that child puts in effort, that will completely die inside that child's mind. So praise is different and encouragement is different. You need to encourage the child for everything that child undertakes positively with the result.
Yeah.
There's a
Now,
lot of questions, sir. There
lot
are
of
nearly some 30, 40 questions which are there in the.
yeah. So one more question. We'll take it to our president. So the big picture is enhancing the happiness index of the country. And with this initiative, how you feel that we are doing the same thing and we are enhancing the happiness index of parents, of the students, of the teachers, and making the school happy, and in person or in general, making the Sharjah Emirates also enhancing its happiness index. President, please.
Mr. Mahajan, what we need exactly as a parent, we need my student, my ward should be stress-free education level. Why stress-free? Because he has to be happy at a school. He has to feel happy at home. So if you stress more, what will happen? Your potential will not come out the way it's supposed to be. That's the reason the happiness is important for the UAE. There is a ministry for that.
Yes.
So exactly what we are trying for that, we need to make a happy school, a happy home kind of thing. So I would request here for all the teachers, yes, initially you need to put some more effort. And the parents, again, it's a new parenting role for the future. Unfortunately or fortunately, we cannot say no. We have to. Now, there are questions I have seen that, I'm very happy to see that parents are participating and they don't know about the logging. There is a logging issues. So in the last moment, I would request all the parents, please contact the school authority to get your login. And I am 100% sure you will benefit out of it, because you know your student what they are doing. So happiness is a very important thing, and please make sure that our student is happy at school, stress free, and give a lot of encouragement. I would, Vijimon, I appreciate you for using that word. A lot of encouragement, lot of appreciation we should give to the students for their effort.
For their effort.
Yeah,
for the effort.
For the effort. Yeah. Thank you.
Now, any more question from the parent side?
A lot of questions are there.
Please, sir, we can
Annie
take
ma'am
I'm
will-
actually replying it to all those messages in the chat
Bijuman
box.
sir, if you can reply on screen it immediately, and if some questions can be taken on screen, and you can, Bijuman sir can reply
So-
that thing in the chat box.
Rajiv sir, there are some questions even about accounts and
That
so I
we'll
think
take it- that
all
we'll
of
take
us,
it
if all of the school team members and EduBrisk members can chat in the
Yes.
But there
chat
is
box while somebody
actually
is answering
Saiju sir, most of the questions are technical in nature, actually,
in nature.
like login.
And then
we
no doubt those issues are there. Those issues are there. So we have to be a little bit
No,
more.
actually, sir,
proactive.
the questions are like this, sir. Whether a parent can log, it's a separate login ID for parent and so I think our Annie ma'am and the team are answering that technical part, sir.
Right.
But there are
Right.
some points regarding, these parenting style and all, which can be.
Yeah, I
discussed.
think we can take up this question. What
What's
about
the
peer
parents?
pressure? What about peer pressure about the results in the class or exam tests? How should a parent handle it?
Peer
So
pressure.
for this, what we have done, we not, telling that thing, you are the topper in the class. We are not saying that thing. We are not comparing the students. What in our result, in our report card also, what we are giving is class average, maximum marks, minimum marks, and where you are. So we are not doing any sort of competition as far as the marks are concerned. We are encouraging them to have the competition for competencies, for doing some project, for doing some good work, for completing the assignment, for giving the presentation, coming up with new ideas. That sort of things we are doing. So if at all that peer group pressure is there, so if at all, I'm using the word if at all, the parent has to come into the picture and has to encourage, as Mr. Bijuman sir has told, has to encourage their efforts, whatever be the result is. Irrespective of the result, we have to encourage their efforts. Suppose someone is getting 90 marks, celebrate that they have got the 90 marks. Don't worry about what about that remaining 10 marks. So don't worry about that. So that can be taken out from that point of view. Comparison of one student with another student is not good, because every child is unique. Every child has got its pace and speed. Every child has got a different style. And we have seen those who have failed in 10th standard were seen sometimes after 2-3 years in the first 100 of IITs or NEET. And those who are the toppers of the 12th standard will not be available in the first 500 of IITs or NEET. So what does it mean? It means that the spark is developing, competencies are happening, and things are changing. So, President, shall we continue furthermore, or what is your last take?
No, I want to first of all, I want to tell the parents to thank you very much for attending this small session.
Yes.
And the happy news is that we are not charging anything extra for this. It's the right question someone asked.
Yes.
It will be involved in your current fee structure. Furthermore, I want it to be interactive section for each class, teachers and the parents continuing. And if they have any doubt, please write a mail to the teacher and the schooling authority, including principal. And if you want, you can put me in BCC. So I'll also know that, what is the improvement. Mrs. Saiju, we have a lot of expectation on this program. And please, go in detail. There's a say that devil in detail. So we have to get the detail of each student.
Yes.
Each student is a resource and is a future leader for us. So I appreciate your effort and your team effort, and we want to go further.
Yeah.
Now, since we have a very less time for even the parents, they will ask you directly. Please ensure that they all have your email ID.
Yeah,
So-
we could have this sort of sessions once in 3 months, once in 6 months
Yeah,
for half an hour.
we can have the
also.
next session after the vacation, sir.
And I would be very happy that we do a diagnostic test among us, like, what's happening about the EduBrisk and what is the progress we are making.
Yes.
So every 3 months.
Yes.
So I would be very interested for that.
That
Yeah.
we can
Sir,
do.
actually, I want to add something here, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Can I add?
Raji. Yes, Dr. Raji. Yeah.
Sir, in fact, parents, I think you should have a little more clarity on how to use the platform. So starting from the login onwards, there is a specific video that will guide you through the login process and the components that you can use. My suggestion to everyone, because all the parents may not be on the same page now, because some parents might have understood what is explained and some parents might not have. So what is required is, please keep that video with you, which is provided by EduBrisk team. That will help you a lot in finding out, in exploring the platform. And second thing, whenever the child is, how to utilize, in short, I'll tell you in 1 minute. First thing is about the diagnostic test. Before going to a particular topic, ensure that the student has done diagnostic test. It is prior to class. Second thing, if you think that the child is struggling in learning the contents, if suppose the child is coming and saying, no, I'm not catching it up. So better to go to the platform and see the step down thing, that will give basics of what is done. That will help him to go further. Suppose the child is coming and telling you, oh, this is a very easy topic, I can easily catch it up. Then if you want to learn further, you go to step up, the second one, that is higher level thinking. So these all provisions are there. It is just like a hypermarket, I should say, to parents. You will get everything on this platform. Okay, so make use of that effectively. I want all the parents to be cooperative and be, during these 2 months of time coming up, I request all the parents to surf through the various components. And there was a question in the chat box, which is showing that is there a login ID separately for students and parents? Yes, separate login ID is there for students and have. That is there. And second one, is it to be used for British curriculum or something of that sort? This platform is tailored exclusively for Sharjah Indian schools. So that way, this is set for that. It is not meant for any other curriculum or not for any other schools. Thank you.
Yeah, Mrs. Sifna Nasruddin, if you have to give any final comment. Sifna ma'am, comment, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir, I'm here. So it's, as Rajiv sir said, I should say it offers a plenty of opportunity for different groups of learners. We have to understand, and parents also should know that not everybody is the same. Everybody has got their unique potential, and they can adjust their pace of learning with all the components that are offered. If your child learns to weigh through a kinesthetic mode, do and discover activity would be the best way to take up learning. If your child is a visual learner, there is an opportunity for you to visualize. There are diagrammatic representations of things, and videos are available. So according to the choice and your style of learning, you can adjust, and you can always use up these opportunities that definitely will improve the learning. And as already discussed, marks is not the final outcome, it is learning. The focus is on learning. So to prepare future leaders, we need to understand, parents need to understand that how much my child is able to learn a particular concept and clear away the misconceptions. And EduBrisk platform is the right place where your child can clear all the misconceptions and get to the right level of learning in order to prepare themselves as future leaders. So we request all of you to make the right use of it so that everybody turns out to be brilliant learners and prepare themselves for the future.
So on behalf of Honorable
Mr.
President,
Mahajan, I have one more requirement, which I
please.
want to know that by class, how many students and how many parents have login ID, and how many parents logged.
Yeah.
I have entered in the
Yeah.
The portal.
So that
So there should be
login
periodical test
information will
after 3
provide.
months. Yeah. After 3 months, we need to have that information.
Yes.
Then parent, those not login, there's a small change, we'll charge them. That okay?
Yes. Least
We'll put a
login
fine on
people
them.
should be charged. Yes.
Exactly.
Very good
Yeah.
idea.
Be fine.
Great.
So on behalf of Honorable President, Secretary, Treasurer, on behalf of the Commandant Saiju, on behalf of all the leaders of Sharjah Indian School, we thank to all our parents to be very interactive, to be, they have given their valuable time. And it's a humble request, let's be together to celebrate such type of seminars, to celebrate the journey of teaching and learning and bring the change, that change which take your child a step ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much. Signing off.